G'day, yeah, Stephen Carey from offthegridnoz.com again. Bit of Bruce playing in the background, can't start the fire. Good track. But I think what you can see there probably flies in the face of that statement. Late in the afternoon, yeah, look, no blinding sunset. Oh, aren't you pissed off? Sorry, been running around like a chook with his freaking head cut off. See, I said the frig word, not the other one. That one bad. But yeah, run around like a chook with his head cut off. Got the fire going. Got a bit of Brucey going on the TV. On the internet. We wouldn't want to call it the TV because that's just not happening. Anyway, this video, it's about alternative building. We'll call it alternative building, the pitfalls, the reality, and the traps. Yeah, sounds a bit dodgy, eh? If you've been in the business of building alternative buildings, well, you probably want to turn this freaking thing off. But if you're new, this video has one point, and the point is to bring into the forefront some of the things that go along with what we would perceive to be alternative building. You've seen or you may have, if you haven't, we've actually gone the alternative building road this time around. And you've got to watch the other videos to find out what the hell I just said then. And that's bad luck if you haven't got the bandwidth, because you're probably not going to watch them. But we've gone the alternative building road this time around. I'm going to make this one, yeah, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? I'm going to make this short, right? But I am going to make it relatively short because I want to do a few on this. This alternative building thing encompasses a lot of elements. It encompasses the broader thinking, alternative thinking builders who want to use mud brick, want to use rammed earth, want to use hay bale rendered, want to use tyre earth ships. You know, yeah, shit could even involve a yurt. And guess what? It involves people like myself and Kerry who went with EPS panelling. It's alternative building that isn't all that common. I really should just watch Bruce. This is Bruce really young. Pretty good. Hope you like Bruce. I'm going to turn it up, don't you worry. No sunset, no one to get blinded. Oh damn, it's been a shitty day here. I've been sliding around on a friggin' roof with a 1/4 inch of ice. Come home early because we got rained off. Done my chores. And yeah, I'm boring you to death. I actually had to do a stick roundup. You wonder what we light our fire pits with. I know, I digress. We light our fire pits with what we call stick pickup. Yeah, remember that? It was a kids game called Pick Up Sticks. Well, that's what we do, eh? Well, that's what I do with the quaddie. We pick up lots of sticks. Yeah, alternative building. A lot of people go into alternative building and they don't think about the inherent effort, the added risks involved as far as the dreaded permission. And I know, look, I'm not bagging anyone that has managed to do a earthship in a very agricultural way, or a yurt or whatever, and actually managed to get a permit for it. I take my hat off to you. Oh, good track. How many times do you have to hear me go, I get distracted by the music. Philadelphia. Bruce is really good. He's pretty inspirational, really. But yeah, look, a lot of people get dragged down this road of alternative thinking and alternative building, and they fail to understand the full ramifications of what they're doing. And this can extend to a tin shed that you convert. A lot of people actually think tin sheds, and this is very brief, right? Don't freaking bother putting bag me up because I didn't go into detail. No one's got the bandwidth to listen to me fucking... Oh, I said it, sorry. No one's got the bandwidth for me to friggin' waffle the whole story. In brief, if you're going to do a shed conversion, you have to understand the cost-effective nature of that type of build. Cheap to put up initially, easy because you don't need a permit, perhaps if you're going a bit agricultural and you're dodging the paperwork. But if you are going permit and you are going to convert, the damn thing will wind up getting complicated, right? Just take that statement for what it is. it will. If you're trying to convert a shed and you want to permit it, you want to get permission or approval or a C of O or a compliance, you're going to run into other things that go past the first week when you threw that shed up. The throwing of the shed up, yeah, you were all happy. You were doing kumbaya in the fire. It was all good. Until you asked the authorities, I use that term very loosely. I don't believe they have authority, but that's another story. You will run into the authorities and they will cause you to deal with that shed in ways that, if you are new, and don't bother telling me if you're 10 years into this and you've done a shed, alright, you are a different kettle of fish. But if you're new, don't think you can throw a $5,000 shed up, or a $10,000 shed up, or a American barn style shed up and pay 20 grand and think that it's all just going to be sitting around the campfire singing kumbaya 6 months from now when you start fitting it out and even dare think of complying. And this is the problem I have with all these different types of building, alternative building. You might build an earthship. I've done work on earthships, alright? I know what councils can do. And obviously around Australia, councils have different attitudes. And that's fine. Oh, hang on. Oh, good track. Oh, look, I gotta turn this up, I know. I shouldn't do this, should I? But hey, what the hell? Oh yeah, I like this track. It's Wednesday. I said on Mondays I can have a good day, and I said on Tuesdays I'm allowed to be happy, and on frickin' Wednesdays I'm going to bore you to death and say, Kerry, what are we?
Ecstatic.
Ecstatic. And it's a Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Damn, do we ever have a bad day? Not really.
No.
Oh, I love this track. Say hello, world, baby.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, I know. I refer to Kerry as baby in a nice way, alright? She is my baby. No, I don't mean in a nappy. It's not in a nappy sort of way. But anyway, look. I don't like new people looking at alternative building. You see the way I jump from music to Kerry and baby and back. Get over it. But this alternative building thing is very complex. You might want to do a rammed earth. You might want to do a rammed earth with tyres. You might want to do a hay bale. What you need to do is somehow find the information to check out the end result. The initial part is easy, right? And I'm going to use the word, a freaking monkey can build a rammed earth house. Maybe not a monkey. Although the 100 monkey thing, actually, if you look that up, it's pretty interesting. But yes, okay, a monkey can't do it. But a lot of people can build the most agricultural alternative building. And unless it has been designed, structurally approved, plans submitted, and your dirt rammed earth floor or your hay bale pole construction has been approved and engineered, you're going to be hard pressed to bring that into line to gain any sort of compliance, alright? And I know there are now 5 people throwing their finger down their throat because they managed to do it. And all I would ask those people is to explain what the process was over all of those years. And I have experience in this as far as running into people who start these projects in an alternative way and they drag out for years. And many, many years down the road, they wind up having to pull these buildings into some level of compliance, and that is where the money starts rolling, or the troubles start. So if you're new, take a very, very hard look at your alternative ideas. I love them all. For all you people who are sticking pins in my freaking dolls now, you know, the old voodoo thing. Oh, I love this. I don't know whether to focus on the last of sunset, the fire, or Bruce.
Bruce.
Shit. Yeah, hey, Kerry. What should we be doing, babe?
Bruce.
So we shouldn't be worrying about wasting our Wednesday on alternative construction, we should be focusing on Bruce. But nah, seriously, if you're new, right? Capital N, capital E, capital W. If you have not done this before, take it from silly old fart who drinks distilled water, lights fires every night, listens to Bruce Springsteen, watches the sun go down, and sits with his baby relaxing every day, and been here and done it. You can do alternative building, no doubt, absolutely no doubt. Your Shire may allow a lot of latitude, but have a damn good look. Have a look at the initial cost, have a look at the interim costs, and try to envisage all of the ancillary costs. Ancillary costs are, well, you might have put a pole construction up, you might have hay bale filled it. That's hay bale infill. You may have rammed tyres with earth and infilled. But they're not going to let you cut down poles off your block. You might have a block with lots of trees. They're not going to let you do that and actually allow you to comply. They'll sit there and go, yeah, that's great, but none of those timbers comply or are structurally compliant. So that means your building is still perfect. It's a beautiful structure. It's environmentally sensitive, but no one with a piece of paper and a pen that walks in with a bloody tie on, don't we love them buggers? No. None of those people are going to come in here and pat you on the back for putting natural cut poles on top of poles, normal poles from your block that are in the ground, and then go that your hay bale infill or your earth covered earth ship. I could tell you a story about earth ships. I actually had a lot to do with one guy that did one of those. He got reamed to the point where I basically, when I was doing his plumbing, I got buried in days of rant about the way the council reamed him with technical detail. So if you think you're going to be the new boy on the block with a compressed dirt floor, natural cut poles in the ground that you haven't had inspected, you haven't had an engineer go over, and then you're going to put some pole construction roof over it with no ceiling, no insulation, and all this, oh, kumbaya, it only cost me 5 grand, it only cost me 10 grand, it only cost me 15 grand. If you think that 15 grand buys you any weight with the authorities, I would only ask that you look very, very closely at it. Hey baby, the fire's running down. Yes, Kerry has to do the fire thing. Yeah, Brucey's still going. I'm going to turn this up in a minute. And that's the point of this video anyway. If you're new and you're going to do a barn conversion, tin shed conversion, mud brick, log construction, pole construction with combination of infill, non-load bearing walls, have a good look at it as far as, and you will find comments from people and posts from people who go, oh, I did this and I did that. Go to their block and peg them and pin them to the details behind it, the end cost results, the end compliance level that they achieve, the acceptance of the authorities. Remember those buggers that we want to, I've got a few dolls inside that I stick pins in, and they usually got little council badges on their jackets. I'm not into voodoo, forget it. I'm into selling my grandchildren, but I'm not into voodoo. Actually, I'm not into selling grandchildren. I've already had a visit from the child welfare people about that. I'm joking. YouTube's actually bagged me for putting music in the background. That is one thing I have been bagged for. This is serious, and you wouldn't frickin' believe it, would you? See, I dodged that bad word. How good am I getting? I'm getting pretty good at this. Freak instead of the other one. But yeah, build your alternative building. Go to a bit of trouble not to read the posts from people who are going, oh, I sat around the freaking campfire and built 15 years worth of rammed earth building and it's all bloody honky-dory. Well, maybe there's a bigger story to that. Maybe there's a bigger picture. Maybe there's larger costs. And a lot of these people tend to exclude minor things like the floor, the ceiling lining, the paint, the electrics, the plumbing, you know. Just maybe they might have excluded that from their little, oh kumbaya, we build a mud brick. Oh kumbaya, we build a rammed earth. Oh hello, we built... Yes, at 61 you do choke occasionally on distilled water. Warning, I got it on the bottom of the can. Do not try and drink distilled water whilst you're filming. Did you like that tone? I thought that was pretty good actually. It was that for OH&S. Don't make videos when you're drinking distilled water. Remember our old mates, occupational health and safety? Anyway, I'm trying to be serious. It's not working, I know. Don't put it up that I'm not trying to be serious and failing. Hang on. That was, I am trying to be serious and failing. I know that. And I know I'm old. And I know I'm way too freaking happy for my own good. Right? I'm sorry. I apologise for that. But you really need to look in detail at your alternative build. I'm only going to name this video to do with that, right? A very brief. If you're thinking alternatively, look at your council. Don't talk to them. They don't talk back nicely. We know that. But look at the council. Look at examples in your area. Look at what can be done and what maybe might cause you a problem down the road. Look at the in-depth analysis of the budget that you think you're going to spend. Don't run airhead style with hippie beads on and a big flappy freaking caftan and go, I'm going to build my house for $5,000 or $10,000. I got news for you. That 10 grand build ain't going to come with a ceiling. It ain't going to come with a structurally approved floor. It's probably going to come with no structurally approved anything. It'll be a great building, and I love them. I work on them. I love them. And I build them. But I don't expect them to comply, and I don't expect them to cost 5 grand. I don't care how much you recycle. Recycle your shoes, recycle your clothes, recycle your car. Put whatever recycle you want into it. If you're going to put a 10 square building up, 10 square, you know, medium road build, and you are going to think that you're going to comply for 10 grand, you are heading down the road to hell. And that was Chris Rea last night. And Brucey's going to come up with a good track, and I'm going to just, I have focused on the fire. We have to call these videos the winter videos with the fire going. We don't just light the fire for the video, it's actually to keep us freaking warm. It's quite chilly. Like I said, I slid around on the roof of the man today. I've done a whole heap of stuff that I didn't want to do today, and I froze my, I was going to say the T word, I froze my bum off. So yeah, it's a case of look hard at what you're doing, think about it hard before you jump, and if you really think you're going to get away with some airy, fairy, hypothetical 10 grand build and comply, oh look, here we go, I'm going to turn this up. It's probably cheers for the first time, and I may do another cheers. Born to Run. You'll love this. Yeah. Now it's a Stephen Carey video. I have to try and shut up for a second though. Be careful with your builds, guys. Fantastic people out there with fantastic ideas, but some of them might be a little bit fantastic. Baby, we were born to run. You can have a good time off grid. You don't have to build compliant. Not the point of the video. The point is to actually warn you before you start. You know, I can't take enough drugs. I don't take drugs. So I can't take enough drugs to think that you can build a whole building for 10 grand that's going to comply with anything. And that's the point of the video. It's not to put people down who do that, but they want to tell the story how it is. and how it is means probably that if they tried to make it comply, a lot more money than 10 grand will need to be spent. Look at my EPS videos. We have a construction methodology used this time round. We did physically, literally build an almost compliant building. 12 squares, 25 grand, lined, painted, the whole shooting match. It can be done, but it can't be done with sticks and scrap metal. We got subfloor, we got insulation. I'm going to shut up on that. So I if you couldn't tell, I build a lot of houses. I could rant about this a lot. And end on Bruce, and for the second time, Jerry,
Bye.
do we know what we're doing?
No.
No. Take it from my wife. We don't know what we're doing. Ah, come on. We know some things. But do we know everything? That's it. We don't know everything. But I observe, I build for a living. I know what the authorities are like. Be careful. A warning for the new people. Look at it hard. Listen to much Bruce. Oh, crescendo. I'm going to turn it up. I think I got some more volume. Going through the remote. That's it. Anyway, you know you always get 3 see you laters. Subscribe, like, share, or bloody not. Whatever takes your fancy. This is only up there for the new people. If you've got a 15-year-old build that's still going, you probably don't want to hear about it. But you might want to spare somebody else going through the same shit you're going through. Because trans like us, we are born to run. Cheers from us. We'll catch you on the next one. Check out offthegridnoz.com. We come in peace. Yes, we were spawned by aliens, but that's another video. Catch ya, guys.